I have the 4 best Clan War decks for you guys once again, but when I'm saying this, I mean it. This is easily the best 4 decks I've ever put together. All perfect meta decks, all strong right now. I just don't see a weakness in even one of these decks. Before we get into the video, I would quickly like to ask one thing, and that is if you will consider subscribing. 99% of you that watch these videos don't subscribe. It helps out so much more than you could imagine for someone my size as a YouTuber. And yeah, I appreciate the support so much. But now let's get into the video. With the first deck, we've got Mighty Miner Logbait. I mean, this deck was really good, and then they just made Mighty Miner the best card in the game, so it just became that much better. This Logbait deck is an insanely quick cycle, and you have your cannon as your building, which is just better, especially in this deck specifically, than the Inferno Tower, but the cannon's the best building in the game in general anyways, so why not use it? This deck is used by a lot of top ladder players, and I have used it myself, absolutely destroying anyone I've played against. And yes, I know you see champions, if you don't have the Mighty Miner, a Valkyrie or a Knight, but I would suggest the Knight for this one. But yeah, you can see this deck has Goblin Barrel for chip damage, Dark Goblin for chip damage, Dark Goblin's insane on defense, Skeleton's Fire Spirit log cycle, and then you have your Rocket for rocket cycling. On to the second deck. This is why I recommend using Knight if you have no champions in the first deck, because I would recommend using Valkyrie instead of the Skeleton King in this deck if you don't have the Skeleton King. But deck number 2 is Splash Yard. Splash Yard is literally just one of the strongest decks in the game, and I use it myself in Path of Legends. Before the update, I was using the Monk instead of the Skeleton King, but the Monk is 5 elixir now, which kind of just made it a lot worse, and I think the Skeleton King is just much better now. Pushes with this deck are mainly built off counter pushes, and defense is mainly used by pulling things into the middle with like your Tombstone and getting Splash on all the units with Ice Wizard and Baby Dragon and sometimes Skeleton King, using that Tornado to kind of bring everything together, giving those splash units more value. Deck number 3, P.E.K.K.A. Bridge Spam, baby. This deck is always going to be around, and I think it's very strong right now. There's really not too much I need to say about this deck besides pressure, split lane pressure. Keep track of when your opponent's low on elixir. You can literally just slot in a 3 elixir bandit when they're at 1 or 2 elixir, maybe even 0, and they can't do anything about it, and that's a free 1000 plus damage. You also have the Battle Ram to kite, the Magic Archer to get a lot of damage with that geometry. But I mean, I feel like everyone here knows how to use P.E.K.K.A. Bridge Spam, but if you don't, those are a couple things that you need to know. And with my final deck, it is going to be E-Golem. I think Phoenix is still pretty good, and so we're going to be using the Phoenix in this deck, as well as the Mirror, and then you kind of just have the rest of a regular E-Golem deck. This deck is so strong, especially in double and triple elixir. Realistically, a lot of the time you don't really make any big pushes in single elixir. You just kind of defend and then wait for double or triple to just kind of full send and just 3 crown them. But my recommendation with this deck is if there are any special game modes in Clan Wars, like double elixir battles, I would recommend using the E-Golem deck in that instead of in your duel. And yeah, we're going to be wrapping up this video that quick. Also, from now on, I am planning on posting every single day. That is my goal. Before I go though, let me just thank you guys once again for watching. If you enjoyed, consider liking, consider subscribing. You don't have to, but I'd really appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next video, and peace.